we're so excited because Cora and I have teamed up together to bring you to Toronto once again for our Wealth Mastery program. And tell us a little about how you felt when you showed up in Toronto last time when you were there with us.
Well, number one, I had a lot of fun.
Yes.
You guys they're fun. And then number two, you really attracted a lot of really committed people.
Yes.
That wanted to grow and learn and to bring greater wealth and abundance into their lives, and also to make a difference and to have the resources to do philanthropic things in the world to help end suffering and take care of problems that we have. So I enjoyed myself. The other speakers you had, I sat in the room and took notes as well.
Yes.
So I learned a lot, and I just, that's why I'm coming back. You know, Wallace Wattles in his book, The Science of Getting Rich, talks about you cannot reach your full potential if you don't have enough money.
Yes.
For the education to come to programs like we're putting on in Toronto.
Yes.
If you don't have money to get the best medical care, to pay for courses and tutors and, you know, coaches and all
Yes.
that kind of stuff that you need in order to achieve your full potential. And he believes, and I believe as well, that that is our purpose, is to achieve our full potential, to fulfill our soul's purpose, to put it in a spiritual twist. And you know, without the resources to be able to travel, to learn, to take courses, to go to school, to, you know, hire mentors, whatever, you cannot do that. And so it's critical to have enough abundance to do that.
On April 6th, we're putting up this event called Wealth Mastery. So Toronto Women's Club, Private Investment Club, we teamed up to bring this big event, and you're we're happy to have you as the lead speaker there.
You know, I have an abundance of everything, and I have more speaking engagements than I can take. I have more opportunities to write books than I can respond to.
Yeah, you just told me.
But the reality is, that's a great place to be.
Yes.
And so, again, it's not all money. The love, the intelligence, the sharing of ideas is insane.
Yes.
And that's available to all of us. And it's not just available to people who have money.
No.
You know, it's available to people who will make that a priority in their life.
How important, now you talked about this, how important is it attending live events for people who want to be successful? You know, I mean, I can learn, for example, on YouTube or something like that, but there's something about live events. How important is that? And tell us why.
I think it's critical. In fact, I recently said to somebody, if I had to live my life over, I've read over 3,000 books. I would have read 1,000 and taken more live events. But live events, several things happen. Number one, you and I are both believers in experiential learning. That
Yes.
it's not enough to just talk at people.
That's right.
But that when you can do an exercise with a partner or in a small group, or even sharing in a large group and being, you know, processed, as it were, by the trainer, that's something that can't happen watching a TED Talk or an online YouTube course or something. They're valuable information, but it doesn't Velcro the same level. So there's that part. The second part is when you go to a live event, you're in a room with other people with a similar intention to grow, to learn about real estate or learn about financial growth or learn about self-development, whatever it might be. And so that group field is so much stronger than an individual field. In fact, there's one person that says, it's a physicist, who said that the power of an intention is the square of the number of people holding it at the same time.
Right.
So if you and I are holding the same intention, it's 2 times 2 is 4.
Yeah.
But if you get 400 people in a room, it's 16,000.
Yes.
That's a much stronger field in which to play. Then I think the third thing is the networking that occurs. In other words, if I come to a seminar, I meet people like you.
Yes.
And, you know, we've met John Gray and all kinds of
Yes.
people by attending seminars together.
Of course.
And that network, someone once said your net worth equals your network. And so you're networking with people who are committed to growth, committed to supporting positive thinkers and all of that. So you're expanding the potential
Right.
of everything you want to do and able to use other people as resources and also co-venture with them, partner with them, write books with them, all kinds of things that occur that wouldn't occur sitting in front of your computer monitor. All the speakers have taught me things, and I've studied this for years. I'm 74 years old. There's a new nuance. There's something new. I didn't know that. I should really pay attention to that. I'm going to start doing that. And then if you're just starting out, you absolutely need to be there because you have to overcome your poverty consciousness. You have to overcome internal self-talk about money. You need to learn, become financially literate. Most people are not. And there are so many vehicles that you can use to expand your income, your reach, your network, your influence, your impact.
When you were in Toronto, Private Investment Club, we have doubled the number of millionaires since you know, so it's great. So
let me say one thing in response to what you just said about doubling the number of millionaires. If you want to become a millionaire, hang out with millionaires.
Yes.
And so you've got more of them to hang out with than you ever have before.
Yes,
so,
I love it.
So when you come, you're going to be surrounded by people that are, for most people, one level up.
Yes.
That are ahead of you, and you can learn from them.
Yes.
What I'm sharing is a system of success. I've trained over 1 million people, literally millions of people around the world, 57 countries, and I've learned what works and what doesn't work because I've watched my students flounder and figured out why we've removed that, and now they don't flounder. So think of it as effortless success. Now, you have to work.
Yes.
So there is effort, but it's not struggle.
I see.
It becomes easy when you know what to do.
Okay.
And that's what I want to be sharing with people, is that system of what those principles and techniques are, how to do them correctly, how to do them in the right order, so that I don't care what your goal is, financial, health, relationships, golf score, whatever, it works. I often challenge people. I say, you may have heard me say one or two of these things before, but ask yourself, are you using them? What's the point?
That's right.
You end up with what I call shelf-esteem.
Self-esteem.
You've got all these notes of good things to do, but they're on a shelf somewhere. They're not being used.
Tell us why people should come as a VIP, because as a VIPs, for example, if people can afford, and by the way, it's very affordable. Like, it's very affordable to come as a VIP. As a VIP, for example, they'll be able to sit in the VIP area, and they'll be able to have lunch with you. They'll be able to have a photograph with you and things like that, and network in that environment. Yeah. How important is that? Tell us.
Well, as I said before, if you hang out with the successful people, you become more successful. You are able to. It's a higher level of people, because people that pay for VIP, one of two things is true. They're either wealthy enough to just, no big deal, I'm going to do VIP because that's how I like to be treated, I want to fly first class, etc. But also, it's people who are committed to going to the next step. So these are people who say, I'm willing to invest more to get more.
Okay.
And one of the things that happens at the lunch is there's Q&A. So people get to ask questions to me, which doesn't happen necessarily in the large group.
That's right.
And so it's more, when you're getting your specific question answered, it's right to you.
Yes.
I may not have addressed that in the larger group, or I addressed it, but not in a way that you fully understood how to apply it to your life.
That's right.
And so there's that opportunity as well. I have a whole wall of Pick Me with famous people. And Mark Victor Hansen, my co-author of Chicken, you have to go up a stairwell. It turns twice to get to his office.
Right.
And it's pictures of him and everybody, like Michael Jackson, Michael Jordan, whatever.
Yes.
And the first time I went up there, I went, wow, he's really important.
Yes.
And then I went, he walks by that every day. He gets to go, I'm really important.
Yeah.
So it's a real confidence builder, I think, to know that you've taken pictures and spent individual time with.
Yes.
And that you are of that reality. There's a guy in the Philippines who I mentor, who's got pictures with him and Sylvester Stallone and Donald Trump and me and the guy from Rudy. Remember the movie Rudy?
Yes.
And he uses them in his website to basically give credibility to himself.
Yes.
And say, these are the people I hang out with.
Yes.
And so it's greatness by association, if you will.
Greatness by association. Yeah. That's amazing, right?
It's people who are committed to going to the next step. So these are people who say, I'm willing to invest more to get more.
Okay.
And one of the things that happens at the lunch is there's Q&A. All of a sudden I become a real person.
Yes.
And you realize, well, if Jack Canfield grew up in Wheeling, West Virginia, his dad only made $1,000 a year.
Yes.
And he got where he got.
Yes.
And he graduated from the half the class that made the top half possible. He's not like, I'm smart, but I'm not a genius.
Yes.
You begin to go like, wow, I could be that person too. It's not just this sage on the stage. There's this real person that you're connecting to. And I think breaking bread with other people is you get beyond the business card exchange thing. You really connect. And, you should exchange business cards.
Of course. So
that you can connect with people later. And, one of the networking things I think is really important is to find out, here's a good question for people, is what are you working on, or what's the greatest challenge you're facing?
Yes.
And then figure out some way you can support them in that.
Got it.
So now you've gone from visibility, they know who you are, to credibility, because I've actually offered you something, to profitability.
Yes.
And people too often try to sell somebody something before they actually get to know them.
That's right.
And so it's a big networking mistake that people make. But I think when you break bread together, it becomes more like family.
Yes, yes. Well, one of the things we're doing, which is very different, two things we're doing differently when we're doing with Cora. One is we're going to have a 1 hour an expert panel with all the speakers, including yourself and all that stuff, where people are going to be able to ask questions.
Q&A, good.
Yeah, which is good. And the second thing that we're doing, which is really, really different, is we're actually having a mastermind the next day. So some of the things that they learn on the 6th of April, on the 7th of April, we'll have a mastermind with Think and Grow, which talks about the spending time together and all that stuff. And all the VIPs and the platinum tickets will be able to spend a whole day with us, with Cora, myself, and all that stuff, masterminding. And
so valuable.
It's just amazing. And breaking bread, having breakfast and breaks and lunch, and being in an abundance area, and then basically saying, what do you need? What are you doing? What are you working on? And working all that kind of stuff. How important is mastermind?
Well, I have 67 principles in my book, The Success Principles, and people often ask me, they say, what's the most important principle? If you could only use one. And I always say, well, if you could only keep one organ in your body, which one would you keep?
Yes, you need them all.
It won't happen. But if I had to narrow it down, I always say masterminding,
okay,
meditation,
okay,
goal setting,
okay,
accountability partners,
okay,
and visualization. If you do those things, so masterminding is one of the greatest inventions of all time. It was started by Henry Ford and the guy Goodyear and all these people that used to get together, Thomas Edison down in Florida.
Yes.
And these minds would come together and they would mastermind, and they'd said, whenever those people come together with a common intention, not only are their minds there, but the mastermind of spirit also comes present. And you get to be with people who have different perspectives and lenses they look through than you do, and have different resources than you have, different people in their contact lists. I used to say Rolodex, but now it's contact lists on your computer. And so what happens is that you could literally sit there on a hot seat for 10 minutes and have a breakthrough. They come up with solutions. They know what's happening in parts of the world you don't. That they can, partnerships emerge, co-authorships emerge. People do business with each other. They refer to each other. Affiliate things happen. I mean, there's a when you operate from the position of I'm here to serve you and you're here to serve me better than I'm here to get from you.
Yes.
But if we all give to each other, we all grow better.
Yes.
Miracles happen.
Yes.
Miracles happen.
That's what we're going to do on the next day, and we're going to allow the VIP and platinum to come in absolutely no cost, because we want to really change and go towards that 100 millionaire goal that the PIC and we have built.
No, it's a great offer. I can't stress how much masterminds have meant to me. I mean, I've been in a mastermind group of some kind my whole life.
Thank you.
And it's always paid off, the time investment, the money investment, whatever.
Well, we're doing also platinum ticket like we did last time. Platinum is where you'll be there the day before. We're meeting together. We're having the dinner together where people can, it's going to be an exclusive small group where they can ask questions, and they'll have their exclusive photo. We'll have the books and signing and all that kind of stuff. And the purpose there is to be part of this small group that gets to meet and have dinner with not only yourself but all the other center of influences that are there. And then the next day, of course, they get to sit in the front of the room. They get to have the photos done. They get to have all that kind of lunches, breaks, everything paid for. But how important is it if somebody can afford it and they're at a certain level? Because somebody who's starting out should not even apply for platinum, because it may not be for them. But somebody who's already there and somebody wants to go to the next level, what do you think? How important is that?
Well, it's why planes have coach and business in first class.
Yes.
And I have literally sat in the first class cabin next to somebody.
Yes.
And had a business deal happen between New York and LA.
Yes.
Had someone introduce me to someone really, really important in the government. And he said, I'd be glad to introduce you. Now, if I was sitting in coach, that never would have happened.
That's right.
So basically I think you're just expanding the capacity for higher level things to happen
Yes.
when you do that.
Yes.
And so you're associating with a different kind of person. I have a cartoon I show in my workshops that basically shows two unicorns sitting on a rock watching Noah's Ark drift off in the distance and saying, oh crap, was that today? And the reality is, if you're waiting for something, you're not going to get where you want to go. Your life only changes when you make choices. And so I want you to choose to come to this Wealth Mastery program in Toronto, April 6th.
April 6th, 2019.
2019. Because if you don't, you'll be a year from now, you're going to be saying, oh, I should have done that now. I would ask you a question. Are you where you thought you'd be when you were 25 years old? And if you're not, then you're not doing the things you need to do to get to where you want to go. And you're going to have a whole day of people teaching you how to do the things that get you where you want to go. So take advantage of this literally rare opportunity of these people that are coming together and dedicating their lives to helping you live the life you want to have. So don't think about it. Nobody ever goes home and schedules 7 o'clock, I'm going to think about it. So, make the decision. I promise you, you won't regret it. I promise you, you'll be happy you did.